Hi, welcome to EHM. Fake it till we make it. That's what we're talking about today. We hear that phrase and a lot of us are immediately turned off. We think about someone who's overly confident, but not really. They're pretending to be somebody they're not. It just all feels so fake. Today, I want to unpack when fake it till we make it works, when it doesn't work, and why embodiment makes the difference between feeling fake and feeling authentic. Hi, I'm Ching Kao. I have a PhD in cognitive neuroscience from Stanford, a professional ballroom dancer, owner of Firebeat Ballroom Studios in Boston, and Embody Her emotion. Before we decide whether fake it or make it works or not, we have to explore why it feels so aversive to so many of us. Why does it feel icky? Why does it feel wrong? It comes from two places. One is we encounter somebody who is faking it. They don't believe it, and it's obvious, and it's performative. And so somebody's acting like they're confident, and in being performative, they are overdoing it. They are cocky, they are dominating, and inside they're truly insecure. So that disconnect between the internal truth and external output is what turns us off from faking it. The second reason why a lot of us find it so aversive is because when we are doing it, when we are trying to be confident, we don't feel it yet, not even a sliver. It causes a disconnect within ourselves because we're trying to convince somebody else of something that we don't feel in the inside. Interestingly, we already have a lot of tools that incrementally help us get to where we want to be without such a drastic faking feeling. We have affirmations in which we are writing down sentences, positive sentences of who we want to be. We have mindset or reframes where we take a situation and instead of being negative, we end up having a positive spin on how we want to engage in the world. We have gratitude journaling, which shifts our vibration from a place of scarcity to a place of abundance. People dress for the job they want, or people dress for the occasion to help them get into the mood. So all of these tools are like fake it till we make it. They're trying to get you closer and closer to the person you want to be. And fake it till we make it is such an extreme situation because you are presenting yourself to the world, a whole package, not just the mindset, okay? It is the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you respond to someone. You are trying to change the whole persona. And that persona could be very, very different than the one you are right now. If that disconnect is quite large, you yourself don't feel it. How's anyone else going to believe it? Let's consider the question. Are you trying to convince yourself or are you trying to convince them? And I find that when you can convince yourself, first and foremost, it is easier to magnify that intention to convince somebody else. But to convince somebody else of something that you have a hard time internalizing or tapping into or believing, that's when it really feels fake. Faking it till you make it is a tool to get you closer to that, only if you have the intention of bridging the gap between the external experience, the external output, and the internal experience. And you got to be careful not to buy your own act if you don't feel it. All of a sudden you think you're confident, even though you're not feeling confident. When you fake it till you make it, you're trying to consolidate and align several behaviors, associate them together, and practice it so much that it becomes a new way of being. Now, it's so uncomfortable for some of my students. They're like, it feels fake. It doesn't feel like me. Well, yeah, anything that is new can feel uncomfortable. It doesn't mean it's fake. It just means it's new. It's fake only if somebody else tells you that's who you should be. No, all of this embodiment work comes because of your own genuine desire to be more, to be different, to be X, Y, and Z. Because it's from your own internal desires, if it's for you, it's not fake. It's uncomfortable in the beginning because you don't buy what you're selling. Being uncomfortable doesn't mean you're being fake. So as you're repatterning, as you're learning how to walk, talk, and feel like this new persona, you're constantly mapping those three elements together and you're practicing. After a while, that whole embodiment of mind, spirit, and feeling, body, that becomes your new persona. Where it starts to break apart is if those threes aren't matching. You're talking the talk, I'm confident, I'm sensual, I'm doing all the things, but you're not matching the way you move or the way you feel when you're confident. if you're not learning and mapping those things, then after a while, your ego will believe you're confident, but you're not. And so the inauthenticity starts to break down when there's a disconnect between how you laid your new persona down. So to reiterate, faking it or till you make it, it does feel fake in the beginning because it's novel and it's uncomfortable. But if you're doing this for you, it's really not fake. And if you do this for you in a way that embodies all three elements, the mindset, the physical way of being, and the emotional state, then yes, faking it will take you to a place where you make it. So a lot of you are probably thinking, how is this different than acting? It's absolutely acting, with one intentional difference. Actors embody a character. If they're a good actor, they're embodying the whole thing. Like Gollum in Lord of the Rings, they embody the way they move and it informs the way they think. But the difference between acting and embodiment is huge. Acting is when you intentionally say, I'm going to learn this, but I am not going to bring this into my identity. It is a role that somebody gave you and said, you need to be this character. Embodiment work is different. You first start saying, I want more of this in my life. Embodiment work comes from your innate desire, not somebody's scripted character. It's your innate desire. And embodiment is using acting tools, or in my situation, Latin ballroom archetypes, to help you get to the persona you want to be for yourself. You are intentionally, unlike actors, saying, I want it to change and better me. So in summary, no. I don't think fake it till you make it works if you're pretending to be somebody else or if you're just talking the talk. Faking it till you make it absolutely works. When you believe it by practicing feeling it with repetition, with the intention of aligning all of your mental state, feeling state, and your physical state, even the way you move. And that's the heart of embodied movement, or EHM, fake it till you make it, using the Latin ballroom archetypes. Because the goal isn't to try to be somebody else. The goal is to be fluent in more aspects, more dimensions of you. And if you're curious about which of the 5 Latin archetypes, cha-cha, samba, rumba, paso, jive, which of these persona is waiting to come out, I built a quiz just for that. I'm going to link it down below. It's called the Have You Met Her quiz. Because the most intoxicating woman is the one who is most fully herself. So feel more, dance more, and I'll see you later.